Good morning from Thorpe Park Resort, and yes, we are doing one of our yearly updates. We kind of do two, don't we? Two or three. We usually do 2 or 3 down by Monk's Walk to just see what's going on. Now, I have to say, we're not expecting much today. We're not expecting to see much. We're not expecting any like major construction. We're not expecting Slammer to be gone, Loggers Leap to be gone. We're just not expecting anything to have happened. To be honest with you, I think it's going to be a quiet year for Thorpe Park. Anything new that they have, I think it's going to be something like Bouncezilla or something like that. I don't think we're going to be getting anything kind of massive. I have a feeling the park would be advertising it. But we are going to provide you with an update from Thorpe Park today. Hopefully we'll see something.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see something. So of course, this is the shed area. This was where platform 15 kind of comes through. And the first thing we will see is the train. It's quite a familiar sight, to be honest with you. But you can see from this side just kind of how neglected the poor thing looks. You used to be able to see all through here, but I mean, it does look really neglected. And of course, there is Loggers Leap, which is kind of what we expected to see. We expected to see Loggers Leap. So there's the train. For those that will remember from platform 15, that's the route through there. And this is kind of all this is used for now. Loggers Leap, we finally had confirmation from the park last year that it's not returning. I can't remember when it shut now. 2015? I want to say 2015, I can't remember offhand, to be honest with you, but it's been shut a long time. It's been kind of standing, not operating. It's going to cost a little bit of money to get it working again. I don't quite know how much, to be honest. I still think it was probably worth getting working. The only issue being is obviously the lake water isn't particularly nice. And I guess changing it to fresh water, much like something like Chessington's or Legoland, would probably cost too much money, or be near impossible to do. So I think the decision based on that is the reason why we've lost Loggers Leap. Second log flume lost by Merlin last decade. Last decade, new decade, people. We obviously lost the flume at Alton Towers, which suffered a very similar problem. And of course, we lost Loggers Leap, which is a real shame. Genuinely a real shame. You can just see Saw there in the background as well. There it is. And then we'll pan around in a minute and you will see Slammer. We can see Slammer through the trees. So as I said, we're not aware of any major construction that's happening at the park this year. We're not aware of any new rides. We're not really aware of anything that's going on. Thorpe Park are kept very, very quiet. And we're kind of getting to a point now, I think, with Thorpe Park where something needs to happen. It's been a long time since there's been some, you know, big major investment. It's been a long time since we had a new roller coaster. We obviously had the re-theme of Walking Dead. Yeah, it just feels a bit, it's feeling a bit stale. A little bit stale for the offering. I guess while the teens keep coming back, people will keep coming back. Now through here, we'll have a quick look over here. So these posters on here, these were quite hard to see. Might get a better view down here actually. These posters were quite hard to see during Fright Nights because it was dark, to be honest. In case you didn't get to see them. These were sort of the details that were added to the attraction for this year, for platform 15, which weren't there last year. With obviously the new queue as well. Now, I'd expect this to stay in place because obviously the season ended right at the end of Fright Nights. They don't usually hang around to kind of take these things down. It's something that's done during the year, and then you expect ride maintenance to kind of, you know, take priority over the closed season. So we'll have that now. We'll see if we can see any ride maintenance, and yeah, we'll show you. Right there, you can see Rocky Express. Obviously, the middle where it's taken apart is right there. You can see the Creek Freak Massacre. I kept getting that wrong last year. Is in situ. We heard that cost quite a lot of money to put together, and actually we still think it's probably their best maze they've ever done. I'd expect that to return this year, which again means you know, nothing's going to change down this area. I don't think now you can see here. We'll have a quick look. You can't really see Timber Tugboat anymore. You used to get a lovely view of Canada Creek or whatever this area is, but you can't anymore. Because they built it up. They built it all up and ready, and of course they reused some of the scenery down here So again, a lot of this scenery was really hard to see last year. So we can see Rocket Express been taken apart. It's kind of what we expected. And as we go down there, we expect to be able to see Storm and a Teacup, possibly a bit of Nemesis Inferno as well. But yeah, looks like a tree's been cut. Now, this remained unused last year, didn't it? So this was obviously unused last year in the end. This was the zombie outbreak. All remained unused last year. It didn't come back. The zombie attraction, the shooting one didn't come back either. I love the shooting that we did. That was brilliant. I really enjoyed that. That didn't come back. So you can just see Slammer, just in case you missed it, through there. Obviously top of Colossus. There's no scaffolding on Colossus lift hill this season. Yeah, you know, no like real work going on the Colossus. They've either completed it or it's not deemed necessary this particular year. They obviously did track inspections, but perhaps the lift hill doesn't need it. You know, it's been interesting to see with Colossus, because Colossus has got rougher and rougher over the years. And you know, Flamingo Land are going to be opening their new 10 looper this year, which is not quite a clone of Colossus, but very, very close, to be honest. It's an updated version. It looks like it's been confirmed. It's definitely got lap bars. And yeah, you know, we are going to go to Flamingo Land this year to ride it. If it's that much better than Colossus than what we've been told, I really think Colossus would be due an upgrade if they want to keep the ride, because it's been here now, what, 18 years? 19 years? Been here a long time. And it definitely might be due an update. Got barbed wire here, we won't be going in. So this was the back end of Blair Witch, which again, you can't see during the night time. You just can't quite picture it, even though we had a light on when we went through. You can't quite picture it. But Blair Witch is right here. Took its new route for this year. It was really good, really good. And you can see some of the dividers there before you kind of head down here to this bit. So what happened is you entered around here. This here was the building that you entered, which of course you don't see from the back. You don't ever see from the back. So this was the building that you entered the front, and this was the front of Berkensville before you headed down the side there where the boards are there. You know, it's all powered up, Kurt. Yeah, it's all got power. That's because there was a light on the front. That's why it's got a power. Because, you know, it looks like a building. When you just about see through there, the building. So yeah, you can see all the cables and everything remain. You know, they're all transportable cables. They're all heavy duty ones. But yeah, it was all lit up. It's all lit up nicely from the front. And of course, you don't see it from the back. And yeah, they reused wood from other attractions in the past. Why not? If it's in good condition, why waste money on new stuff? I don't blame them for that. I mean, to be fair, if you're walking down here for like the first time and you see that tent suspended in the sky and you have no idea what's going on, I mean, that's quite scary. That's real Blair Witch, that is. Real Blair Witch. Your dog and everything. Yeah, walking your dog. Don't really know, you know, what's going on. There's a tent hanging. Obviously there's the Blair Witch building, which you walk through. There's some tiles. I really liked Blair Witch last year, really, really liked it. And of course Nemesis Inferno. It'd be nice if they could finish painting it. Which is always the case. It just sort of sits there.
It's got some restraints.
It's got some restraints. I remember last year it didn't have hardly any. I do think it's strange, you know, when they've got a workshop that fits both trains, that just sits there. And I know they use the trains because obviously they do work on the track, so they use the trains to send round, and yeah, they use the trains to send round to make sure everything's running all right. But it is very, very weird. And of course you can see actually this year that you do have some scaffolding around. See if we can get a better view of that down here. Some scaffolding around as well. Slightly better angle here. It is all fairly standard maintenance work, to be honest with you. It really, really is standard maintenance work. This bit is all under scaffolding. Now, of course, we don't know why it's under scaffolding. However, it would be really nice, since they half painted the ride exit last year. As you can see, the lovely painted bit, that maybe this year as it seems to be in line with people, the platforms seem to be in line with people going up, but they will repaint the rest of the fences. I can't see Nemesis Inferno going anywhere anytime soon, so I don't think it would hurt for them to do that. And then yeah, there's the corkscrews on. That actually looks like here they've stripped the paint off. That looks rusty. That looks really rusty. Really rusty, that is. See if we can get a photo of that, I think, on the way back, and we'll add that in. But yeah, they've definitely stripped that back to check for cracks, I would imagine. And then yeah, here's the side of the building. But yeah, the platform does seem to go in line with that. It would be really nice to see if we get some paint on it. I mean, you know, they made such an effort on the front. It's a bit like Disney. They make such an effort on the front and then they leave the back like this. But then the problem is you walk out the back. So it kind of defeats the object a bit, really. What's your favourite ride here?
Yeah, probably.
Is it the best Nemesis Cut?
No.
Oh, well, at least he's got something right. At least he's got something right, bless him. Then, of course, these gates are always open, and we can see what's going on down here. Do 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 do. Do do do. And you know, no surprise that Storm and a Teacup down there. No surprise that Storm and the Teacups had its cups taken out. Maybe one day they'll spin. Maybe one day they'll spin. Very little else going on. Of course, Ramper Rapids boats here. So I'd be expecting to see nearly all of the boats here this year, because obviously last year there were less boats here because they were all having the modifications fitted. So we saw one or two with the modifications fitted, then we saw a few without them fitted, and then as we came back over the close season, they kind of all disappeared, and then they come back in the new year with the modifications. So with the modifications done, to be quite honest, apart from the fact they're going through, you know, they're going through the tyres and they do tend to separate them, I'd be expecting to see pretty much all of the boats down here, to be honest with you. You can see all the old stuff over there. So here's a modified boat with no base. Number 4, make a note, boys. See if number 4 comes back next year. See if number 4 comes back. Oh, it's a beautiful view of Stealth. There's definitely no work going on over there. I know people desperately want a re-theme of this. And again, you know, it's really weird because with Loggers Leap shutting and then doing the modifications on this one, you know, chances of someone falling out of Loggers Leap are far less than people falling out of this.
Yeah.
Really think they kept the wrong ride open, to be honest with you. I'm sure, again, there are reasons for it, but I think they kept the wrong ride open. And there's some boats. So, of course, all modified this year. I don't know. That's a lot of boats, look, would you believe it? So all the boats were modified. All the boats were modified last year to be raised a little bit. I still don't think they're raised enough. I think when you look at Vikings at Legoland, that's a far better example of a modern day rapids. It's not going to work in the tiny gap they've got there, to be honest with you. Not going to work. But yeah, you know, as expected, all the boats are down here. You know, everything they needed modifying, they modified. It's of no surprise to me that they're sitting here. We'll still show them all. I don't think we've ever walked down this far. I don't think we've ever had to.
No, they never have. I mean, never go down.
That last one? 12, the last one. What number have you got to remember first time?
4.
Whoa, good lad. What number you got to remember?
4.
He's on it.
13.
Unlucky 13 is last, can't forget that. Of course, I remember when the train track used to come along here and used to go down there and used to go down to the farm. To the farm, Kurt. You remember the farm? No. He has been to the farm. Cody hasn't, mind you, but Kurt has been to the farm. So yeah, that's it. We're not going to walk down to the to the farm today. I don't see the point, to be honest with you. It's now storage ground. You know, it's not all there. The farm buildings are still there. I just think, you know, the expansion for Thorpe Park could be massive. and that would make a lovely family area. And there really is no reason, I know this is a service road, there's absolutely no reason why this couldn't be developed down here for people to be able to walk down here and go up to the farm area and really, you know, arguably really space the people out, have a nice family area down here, have a few thrill rides up there. I don't know. A bit more roomy. Yeah, I mean, we've got the island over here, the old Treasure Island, you know, future plan for a roller coaster. Yeah, I don't know. I know it costs money, but I think it's about time they invested in Thorpe Park, because it seems to be quite a long time ago that they did. It's good that camera points right over here. Isn't that weird?
It's not actually on the park road.
I'm guessing, actually I don't really know where that would normally point, because it's not tall enough to be
Reaching into the park.
reaching into the park.
Well, there are side ones though, look, halfway down, so they go either side, so...
Maybe this is where people break in the most. We'll be staying this side of the fence. There he goes, kicking himself, making his trousers dirty. So that is Thorpe Park. That is our Thorpe Park update for 2020. Obviously we didn't bother coming back at the end of last year, to be honest with you. We thought we would wait, and we will do one more update from the park. Not sure when, maybe two, probably one. One more update from the park, because there's not enough going on, to be honest with you. So just to summarise, for us to summarise, very little going on down in Canada Creek, or Old Town, whatever they call it now. You know, all these people that said Project 2020 need their head checked. Honestly, need their heads checked. It was never going to happen, and it's a good couple of years away from happening. As we've walked along, all the mazes stay situ right here to our left now. And again, I would expect Blair Witch to return next year. I would expect Platform 15 to return next year, although it wasn't great. Needs some improvement. And I would definitely expect Creek Freak Massacre to return. If they spent the money on it, which I've heard they spent on it, it's definitely returning next year. Usual maintenance around Rocky Express. As we've walked down then, we've walked through and we can see Nemesis Inferno. And yes, on the G-Roll there, on the twist after the loop, we can see there is scaffolding up. And on that scaffolding, they have stripped back all of the paint on the support. Now, I assume they're going to be checking for cracks, stress cracks, which is normal. But I've not seen them do that before. I hope they repaint it. I hope they repaint it, and then I sort of hope they repaint the whole of that, but we'll see whether it's a two-tone colour next year. It'll be really interesting. But yeah, they've stripped it back. I've not seen them do that before. I'm sure with stress checking they can usually do it without having to strip the paint off, so yeah, it's quite interesting to see that they've done that on that particular section. We've then moved down, we can see Storm in a Teacup. Storm in a Teacup, of course, has all its cups removed for winter maintenance. And then, of course, the Rumba Rapids boat. So expected to see all the Rumba Rapids boats there. They are. They weren't there last year because they were in a workshop being modified. This year, they've all been modified, and they're all sat there. The only disappointment, it is disappointing. You know, these rides, we're constantly told how many hundreds of thousands and millions of pounds they cost. You know, if I owned a theme park and I was shut with Rumba Rapids, did it shut early this year? I can't remember if it shut early or not this year. Comment below, did it shut early enough this year? But let's say it didn't. It's going to be sat there for 5 months. You know, they're not moving at all. And I understand, like, during the working week, they kind of go around and they get wet. But why leave them out to the elements? Why not just spend a little bit of money on covers that you can reuse every year? You know, I'm sure it costs more money to paint them and constantly clean them and everything than what it would be to go, take them off, clean them, put them under cover, ready for when they can't, you know, start next time. It just baffles me why it isn't done. All these things are left at the elements when I think they should be covered up. I really think they should be covered up. But yeah, all the boats are down there. All the boats are down there. I expect Rumba Rapids to reopen this year. I think it'll be its last year. I'm going to make that bold statement now, people. I have no inside intel before anyone has a go at me, but leave your comments below. Do you really think that ride's got a long time left in it, given the manpower that has to go into it now and given the cost and, quite honestly, how it rides? But yeah, leave your comments below. What do you think? Thorpe Park. That's our close season update. There's not a lot to report, to be honest with you. Remember to like and subscribe. My name's Adam. It's been UK Theme Parks. It's our first construction update of 2020. We'll see you soon.